Hi everybody, it's Stitch Witch here with another tutorial just for you. Today we're going to be making fingerless gloves. You can see I made the ribbing down here, and the stitching that I've done for the body of the glove is all front post double crochets. It gives it a nice thickness, and I used a medium weight yarn, and there is the little thumb hole. Let me just put it on here. See, it covers the hand nicely. And it was very easy and quick to make. And it is very thick and warm because of the front post double crochet. Okay, to get started with this, we are going to need our crochet hook. And I'm using a 5.0 millimeter hook. We're going to need a pair of scissors. And we are going to need a needle for darning in our ends. Okay, the yarn I'm using today for this tutorial is by Craftsmart. It's recommending a 5.5 millimeter hook, but I needed a more firmer feel to the glove and a tighter stitch, so I used a 5. You can use a 5.5 if you like, and it is a medium 4-weight yarn. You can use whatever brand of yarn you would like, whatever color you would like. It doesn't matter. Just go with whatever feels good to you. All right. Now we're going to start with our slip knot. However way you choose to do the slip knots. If it's easier, you can literally just tie a knot around the crochet hook. And that works too. Okay, now we're going to start with the cuffs, and what you're going to do is you're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, oops, got a little straggler there, let me untangle that, 9, and 10. Now in the second chain from the hook, you are going to do a single crochet, and you're going to single crochet in each remaining chain all the way along, and at the end you're going to have a total of 9 single crochets. And there's how it looks so far. Now at this point, what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1, and you're going to turn your work, and we are going to chain across using the back loops only. And let's see, right about here, if you turn the work sideways just a little bit, you can see the 2 loops. Now we're not going to use this front loop right here. We're going to go through this back loop. So you go through the back loop, you draw up a loop, you yarn over, and you pull through both loops. And you go to the next one. You go into the back loop, pull up, yarn over, and pull through 2. Now we're going to do this all the way across until we get to the end of the row. Now remember, we're just crocheting into the back loops only. Okay, and when you reach the end of the row, this is what it's going to look like. And you see it's got a nice ridging right there. Now what you're going to do is you are going to chain one and turn your work. And we're going to repeat the same thing again in the back loops only. Single crochets in the back loops only all the way across. Now we're going to keep doing this row after row until we have done 19 rows. Actually 18 rows, I'm sorry, not 19, 18 rows. So you're going to go back and forth just like this, single crocheting into the back loop only until you have completed 18 rows. Go ahead and do that, and I'll meet back up with you and show you what to do next. Okay, everyone, I am on my 18th row, and as you can see, I'm right about to the end. So I'm just going to complete these last 3 stitches here. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're not going to fasten off, but this is what it looks like. You see the nice ridging right there? Here's what we're going to do. We are going to take this and we are going to fold it in half like this. And what we're going to do is you're going to put, let me try to get up close for the camera here. You're going to put your hook through the very first stitch, both loops, and on the back side, both loops of the back side. We are going to yarn over. Let me fix that. We're also going to stitch over that end bit right there. We're going to pull through, and we're going to do a slip stitch. Gotta love dogs, right? Go over to the next stitch, put it through both loops, and on the back side, put it through both loops. We're going to catch that yarn, we're going to pull it through, and we're going to do another slip stitch. And get this little straggler out of the way, and we're going to sew it in later. So again, we're going to go into the next stitch, both loops, and on the back side, we're going to go through both loops of the back side. We're going to yarn over and pull it through, and we're going to do a slip stitch. We're going to do this all the way across until we get to the end. I'm going to grab some more yarn here. And again, I have silly dogs, so they are going to bark at a leaf blowing by. But that's alright. That's what they're there for. My 5 tiny chihuahuas just protecting me from the leaf blowing by. And pull it through this last stitch. And we're going to slip stitch right there. Now we have the cuff. It is all sewn together. We're going to go ahead and flip it inside out. And this little straggler, we're going to sew it in later. So we're going to pull it down out of the way. Now what you're going to do is we are going to evenly space 25 single crochets all the way around. So first, you're going to chain one, and we're going to do a single crochet right in that very first spot. And remember, we got to keep count to 25, and you're going to want to evenly space this. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 'Gets a little bit fiddly sometimes. There's 24, and the last one, 25. And you're going to slip stitch into the very first single crochet, and that completes the first row of the body of the glove. Now for row 2, we're going to chain up 1, and that chain 1 doesn't count as anything. We are going to yarn over, and we're going to double crochet into that very first stitch. Oops. And we're going to double crochet in every stitch all the way around. That's 3, and you should have a total of 25. 4, 5, 6, 7, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Now we're going to slip stitch in the top of that very first double crochet, and we are done with the second row. Okay, on to row 3 for the body of the glove. Again, we're going to chain 1 just to raise this up a little bit. And this is a chain 1 right here, so we're not going to do anything with that. Now this first double crochet right here, we're going to yarn over, and we're going to do a front post double crochet. So we yarn over, go behind the loop and through the other side, yarn over again and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And we're going to do front post double crochets all the way around. You're going to yarn over, just like this, go behind the loop, or behind the stitch, sorry, and out the other side, yarn over, and we're going to pull up, and we're going to complete the double crochet. Now here we go again, yarn over, go behind the stitch, and through to the other side, yarn over and pull up, yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. We are going to continue doing front post double crochets all the way around. So keep working on that, and I'll meet back up with you when we reach the other side. Alright, we're nearing the end of this row. I just have a few more front post double crochets to do. And then I'll show you how to end the row and begin the next one. Alright, there's the last front post double crochet, and what we're going to do is right here in the very first double crochet of the last, at the start of the row here, we're going to do a slip stitch. And we're going to chain 1 to raise ourselves up and give us a little bit of height. We're going to yarn over, and again we're going to do front post double crochets all the way around. And we're going to do this, we're on row 4 right now, we're going to do this from rows 4 all the way up to row 7. And when you start a new row, you chain 1 to give you a little bit of height, and you front post double crochet all the way around, and then slip stitch into the first double crochet of the row. Go ahead and do this for rows 4 through 7, and I'll meet back up with you. Okay guys, I've completed rows 4 through 7 by doing front post double crochets all the way around. Now on row 8, we're going to make the thumb holes. So we're going to chain up 1 to give us a little bit of height, and we are going to front post double crochet in the first 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We are going to skip 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in the 5th stitch, we are going to do a slip stitch. This is going to be our thumb hole right here. Now we're going to chain up 1 to give us a little bit of height, and we're going to front post double crochet into the next 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse the dogs again. They seem to get a little jumpy sometimes. 6, 7, 8, 9, and the last one right here, 10. And now we're going to slip stitch into the very first front post double crochet. And that is the end of row 9. I mean, row 8, sorry. I'm way ahead of myself here. Sorry, guys. Now to move on to row 9, we're going to chain up 1 to give us a little bit of height. And we're going to front post double crochet in each front post double crochet from the previous row until we get to that chain 4 spot. Almost there. Just 3 more. 2 and 3. Okay, we're at the chain 4. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a double crochet in each of the 4 chains. Can be a little bit fiddly. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to front post double crochet in all of the front post double crochets for the rest of the row. We're going to skip where we did the slip stitch right here. We're just going to move on to this front post double crochet on the previous row. Oh, it's a little bit fiddly. Sorry, guys. Okay, there we go. And we're just going to continue doing front post double crochets all the way around until we get to the end of the row. Almost there. Just a few more to go. And there's the last one. And apparently now is when my dogs have decided they want a roughhouse. Just slip stitch to the first front post double crochet of the row, and you have completed row 9. Now what we're going to do is we are going to, for row 10, we are going to do chain 1, and we're going to do front post double crochets all the way around, and we're going to repeat that row until we get to row 13. So we chain 1 for just a little bit of height, and we begin front post double crochet. Now you're going to do this all the way around to the end of the row, and we're going to repeat this row until we reach row 13. So go ahead and complete rows 10 to 13, and I'll meet back up with you. Alright guys, I've come to the end of row 13. So I am just going to slip stitch right here into the very first front post double crochet. Gonna grab our scissors, and we're gonna cut the end. We're gonna go ahead and pull that through and give it a little tug. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sew in our ends. Sometimes, honestly, I have a hard time getting this fat yarn into this teeny tiny little needle. But with a little bit of fiddling, you can usually get it pretty quick. So we're going to flip up the cuff on this so that we can give this a nice little zigzag. We'll go this way, and we'll go this way. And one more time to be sure it doesn't come loose. I'm going to go a completely different way and come up like that. Now we're going to be very careful when we snip the yarn as close as possible to the work, and we're going to fold that down. Next, we're going to do the same thing up here at the top. We are going to get the yarn into this needle, give it a little pull right there, and we're going to flip it where we can see the inside, and we're going to go down a few rows. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, just make sure it doesn't come through on the other side. And we're going to pull that down, get it nice and taut there. And then we're going to go through another direction. And one more time, we are going to go back down. Doing it 3 times, kind of make sure that we got it tucked in nicely, and it shouldn't come undone. And very carefully snip off the end there. And there we have it. We have our finished glove. And here is the other one. So I'm just going to slip them on. So we can take a look at the pair. All right, and here you have it. Both sides, nice and thick. It's going to be very warm because we did the front post double crochet, creating that ribbing on the inside, giving it a little extra thickness. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I had fun making it with you, and I hope to see you again soon. Until then, just keep stitching.